Raat Akeli Hai has a very rare quality. It has managed to authentically create a good man who is not naive. He is empowered in the true sense. That combination is quite rare, good and empowered. If you look at most films today, either the hero isn't really a good person, or if he is written as weak or simple minded, or he is some dated version of what a hero used to be, copy of the past, who is out of place in today's world. It's almost like we can't imagine good men being strong anymore. We don't see them winning much these days. But there is some truth around that, right? Good men don't win much in the real world anymore. Maybe films are just reflecting that. However, Raat Akeli Hai dares to imagine one anyway, and it does it quite beautifully. Nawazuddin Siddiqui plays Inspector Jatil Yadav in one of my favorite performances of his. I love him in this film. He is always good, but this is just the perfect character for him. When I watched the first film, I remember thinking that the film is okay, but Nawaz's performance is kind of saving the film. He has done that many times. But after watching the second film, The Bansal Murders, I am quite convinced that the writers knew exactly what they were doing. This is a brilliantly written character. Let's dive into the story. Major spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen the film, I suggest you watch it and come back for the rest of this. The Bansal house. One of those billionaire families. They own a newspaper, a media house, and several other businesses. They're fighting over power and money, and of course they all hate each other. All the works. One night, a lone killer goes on a rampage inside the house and massacres 6 members of the family. It's really gruesome to watch. The guy hacks each one of them with a machete, and this is shown repeatedly in multiple flashbacks. Not sure why that was needed, but anyway. The prime suspect is a member of the family, a young man, Arav Bansal, someone with mental health issues and a long history of drug abuse. They treat him like a handicapped person. A lot of the evidence seems to neatly point towards his direction, and everyone seems strangely okay with him being the killer. Nobody seems to be defending him much either. This alone seemed a little strange. The family is deeply connected to the police and almost certainly to political power. Unsurprisingly, the media also seems to be under their influence. So very quickly, this stops feeling like a case about finding the truth. It starts feeling like a battle over who controls the narrative that will go to the outside world. There are business deals at stake, family reputation, billions of rupees. Does anyone even care about the truth here? Enter Inspector Jatil Yadav, our hero. The best thing about this man is his ability to not take the bait. And honestly, that might be the biggest flex in our current world of professional trolls. Getting a reaction out of you is probably $1 billion industry now. Not just the online trolls, but our media, our films, our politicians all seem to be acting like trolls. Not reacting seems to be the only healthy response at this point. Dipti Naval plays Guruma, a spiritual leader of some sort, grandmother of the family. She insults Yadav in almost every conversation. He doesn't argue or snap at her. He moves on with his questioning. When she doesn't stop, he just literally walks away. It's absolutely hilarious. This is clearly someone who knows how to deal with toxic people. In another great moment, Dr. Panikar, played by Revati, great to see her by the way. She's playing a forensic investigating officer. She pokes fun at him for being too invested in the case or something. He listens to her, takes a beat, and just calmly moves on with his life. It's beautiful. Anyways, that's how you deal with people who come at you. Just say anyway and move on. The corrupt cop, SP Chauhan, played by Akhilesh Mishra, repeatedly tries to pull him into arguments. And Yadav doesn't take any of this personally. It's almost like he understands something very important. These ego battles are pointless distractions. If you remember our old heroes, they were built on giving it back to the bad guys with words or with a fist. The rule was simple. Never let a jab, physical or verbal, go unanswered. You had to put the bad guys in their place. If you remember, the audience used to whistle at these moments in the theater. The writers still write heroes like that sometimes, but today those characters feel a bit dated. Because if a man gets triggered by everything said to him in 2026, he's not going anywhere. He's not getting anything done. Words have been losing meaning in our world of constant toxic chatter. Honestly, Yadav does not really have to look for the truth here. He could easily just go with the rest of them, pin the murders on this convenient patsy, close the file, and move on with his life. He's not doing this for praise. He's definitely not going to get a promotion. He's not trying to change the system. He clearly knows that ship has sailed. The system is beyond fixing. All he's really trying to do is not be corrupted by it. He wants the truth for himself, and anyone who relates to this can vouch for how powerful this force is. He is a natural truth seeker. He keeps digging and keeps asking questions against everyone involved. They all just want this case to go away, and they want the attention off of their dirty secrets. He pushes on every door, trying to extract even the smallest piece that might lead to what's being hidden here. What's especially striking is that he isn't blindly positive or naive, the way good people are often shown. His eyes are wide open, and yet he has preserved his compassion. I remember comedian Punit Pania say that life is about being able to see as much truth as possible without becoming cruel. It really applies here. Even in this rotten world, he is fair to everyone. Dr. Panikar explodes at him for extending the investigation. She thinks they have found the killer. He responds calmly but sternly, reminding her of what is actually at stake. When he questions Meera, played by Chitrangada Singh, about her potential involvement, he makes her feel safe, but he also does not give her an inch and catches every lie. It's this combination of open eyes and calm mind that eventually leads him to the real killer. Om Prakash, played by Rahul Bali. No one suspected him since he was such a loyal servant for so long, but Yadav eventually gets to him. In a stirring monologue, he confesses to the brutal crime. So why did he do it? Every good mystery has a dirty secret behind what's being shown, and this story has one too. He reveals to us that his daughter was killed in a gas leak from a factory, along with many other poor children. The parents fought hard for justice, but unsurprisingly, it goes nowhere. The leak came from a factory owned by the Bansal family. They successfully bury the story through their newspaper. He witnesses the cover-up firsthand, all while working for them, driving them around. And it gets worse. They blame the poor for causing these deaths, accusing them of killing their own children by living in filth and feeding them poison. Even the memory of his daughter is disgraced. This is a man who's been pushed too far, shattered, maligned, and then told to shut up about it. Every person has a breaking point. In a world with no justice, he seeks a bit of it for himself. How much will we dehumanize our own people? It always comes back, Om Prakash asks us, why don't they deserve to be treated like human beings, like citizens? Inspector Yadav finally strikes gold, and even here, he gives the killer a calm, fair space to speak. We live in difficult, oppressive times. Our media is largely bought out. The daily hateful screaming, the endless attempts to divide us. But something far worse than even this may be happening quietly underneath. They don't seem to report any real news anymore, do they? The number of reporters around the country have reduced drastically, and all we really get now is these meaningless debates where they spew poison. In a country as large as India, a lot happens every day. Injustice, corruption, crime, environmental devastation, and very little of it ever reaches us, because they are not interested in telling us about the lives of people. The perpetrators just need to know someone or pay someone to bury it. But the victims are still suffering. The victims are real. I shudder to think what else is being hidden from us. How much more has happened that we will never hear about. And this backstory about the gas leak captures the worst of that fear perfectly. Against every powerful person connected to the case, our hero, Jatil Yadav, leaks the video of this confession, and everybody in the country watches it. This destroys the well-crafted and painstakingly negotiated narrative by all the stakeholders. Sure, they will probably bury it again, but for one moment, everyone, including his boss and the media, is forced to acknowledge the truth that this billionaire family was massacred because they killed a bunch of poor children and then lied about it. Inspector Yadav is suspended for insubordination, and once again, he doesn't defend himself. He knows how this world works. He rides away, accepting his punishment gracefully. I'm sure he's hurt, but the cost of betraying himself would have been far greater. Even in a seemingly hopeless world, we see what a good man can still do. The film further shows real maturity by refusing to glorify the murders. There is no way to condone such violence. But the film still shows us where it came from and forces us to sit with it. It asks us to think about what we are doing to our own people by silencing them through this disgustingly compromised, corrupt media. There is a line in the film that broke my heart. हमारी आवाज बुलंद करने की जगह, इंसाफ दिलाने की जगह, हमारी चीखें अपने शोर में दबाते चले गए. They kept burying our screams in their noise. How deeply we have dehumanized our people. This isn't a review. It's not a perfect film, far from it. I'm sure many things could have been done better. Generally, I watch an OTT film and wonder what world these people live in. But the core of this story gutted me into silence. And at the same time, it felt strangely comforting to see what I have been feeling reflected on screen for once. Isn't that what artists do? Say what many of us are already feeling? Good people are learning how to operate in this modern dystopia. A tip of the hat to Smita Singh, the writer, and Hani Trehan, the director. And I hope that you take Inspector Jatil Yadav through many more such stories. So we get to see how a good and empowered man maneuvers through this corrupt modern world. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. I really appreciate your time. Station O is a new channel and we will continue exploring stories like these. And I will see you in the next one.